The two most popular brownies recipe, over 50 million views. But viral doesn't always mean good, so which one is best and whether it's actually worth your time or not? Today I'm putting them head to head, scoring texture, taste and appearance, and testing something most people ignore: how reliable these recipes are and how easy they are to make. So stick around, it might surprise you. Hi, I'm Landon. Let's find out. Alright, small hiccup. Spice Bangla's recipe uses 7x7-inch pan, which isn't very common in the US, but luckily an 8-inch round pan has almost the same volume, so it should work just fine. Meanwhile, Tasty goes the full 9x13 party size pan. Even though Tasty costs about 3 times more overall to make, per serving is actually only slightly more expensive. Now, chocolate is the most important thing in brownies, and these recipes approach it completely differently. Spice Bangla has more total chocolate relative to its recipe, but Tasty takes a much more engineered approach. Coffee, Dutch processed cocoa powder, and blooming techniques to deepen the flavor. So one recipe is simple and chocolate heavy, the other is more technical and flavor focused. And honestly, I'm really curious which one will actually taste more chocolatey. And then there's the sugar and butter. The question for Spice Bangla is it going to be the right sweetness or too much? While Tasty isn't skimmed on butter, rich or greasy, we'll find out soon. The Bangla recipe is pretty straightforward: melt chocolate, mix everything together, bake, simple, fast, very beginner friendly. But Tasty goes full food science mode. You simmer the butter for 5 minutes, then plume the cocoa mixture to intensify the flavor, and 10 minutes of beating eggs and sugar on high speed. You will need some muscle or a stand mixer for sure. A little note here, I follow the recipe exactly, but my testing butter is not pourable, much thicker than what's shown in Tasty video. And then something even stranger. Halfway through baking, you literally drop the pan on the counter. Apparently, it's supposed to knock out excess air, so you're beating air in vigorously for 10 minutes, then later popping out air. Okay, honestly, while making these, I kept thinking about another brownie recipe I made before. Way easier, no melting chocolate, and one pan is all I need, but I'll come back to that later. Hey guys, I'm back! Some flaces are for Tasty. These look amazing. Cutting, wiping, cutting and wiping. Let's talk results. Undeniably, these look stunning. The melted chocolate helped creating a shiny, crackly skin on top, which is much harder to achieve in cocoa powder only brownies. Tasty definitely looks better. The brownies are darker thanks to the deep color of Dutch processed cocoa powder. They are more uniform, even, and have a cleaner bakery style finish. The Bangla brownies still look good, but they are lighter in color and sink slightly in the center. So Tasty takes a lead in appearance. Tasty brownies are firm, chewy, and honestly, it feels a little bit too refined for a homemade brownies. I think the long egg whipping step actually did help create that texture.
Again, I can't say fudgy enough. These brownies are like insane.
Actually, it's not that fudgy. A little dry to be honest, and I think the recipe is slightly overbaked.
They've been in there for like 45 minutes. They're definitely cooked through.
Now Bangla is definitely more fudgy. It looks so good on the camera, but too soft. It kind of melts in my mouth instead of giving that chewy brownies bite. Honestly, it felt underbaked. The recipe just say bake for 30 minutes. So overall, none is perfect, but I think Tasty texture is still better. Let's talk about taste. Tasty definitely has more depth, but I think the recipe pushed things just a little too far. The coffee flavor was actually noticeable, so instead of boosting the chocolate, it's slightly distracted, and the salt is a little too much. The taste overall felt just slightly off balanced. Bangla, on the other hand, was basically straight chocolate, no depth at all, with a lot of sugar. It is so sweet, 50% more sugar compared to my favorite brownie recipe. Tasty recipe did not exactly produce the same brownies like what was shown and talked about in the video, at least in my testing, and unfortunately there's no footage of them showing the inside of the brownies, so I can't compare to the unknown. The recipe isn't clear on the baking time, so it has a low reliability. Also, that was a lot more work than a typical brownie recipe, so a 6 out of 10 on easy making. For Bangla, pretty easy recipe. My testing looks pretty similar to that footage, but it was underbaked and the recipe could use some more details and clarity. So at the end of the day, brownies are what matter, and if I had to go back for a second brownie, I would choose Tasty. But unfortunately, both recipes do not live up to their viral status in my testing. So, for actually making grilled fudgy brownies, I would find a different recipe. Remember the one I mentioned earlier? That's the one I would recommend. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you may, help out my small channel with just a simple like and comment. Thanks so much, you have a wonderful day, and bye bye.